So today's subsession is going to be about effective tips for RSO leadership. So just to get started, the team behind SOAP are Mind Tracker 101 and just everything student organization related. We have Mallory Bayan, who is the Assistant Director for Student Organization Support, Fraternity and Sorority Life, and the Terry Program. We have Travaris Peterson, who is the Coordinator for Student Organization Support. We have Joanna Whitaker, who is one of the interns, and myself, Adriana Villegas, and both of us together are just interns for student organizations. So we're the ones that are, responding to your Mind Tracker event request, answering your emails, and setting things up like RSO registration and just everything related to student orgs. So given that we do work for all of you all, we do try to kind of stay in contact with you all as much as we can. And one of these ways that we do so is by hosting office hours. So in these Zoom meetings, we're open to having all student org members and their advisors to connect with us for any kind of questions you all might have. No appointment is necessary because we do have them 3 times a week, but if for whatever reason those dates or times do not work for you all, you can email us to set something up and we can get that going for you all. Travaris is actually on that call right now, so he wasn't able to join us, but you can see we have them at different times, different days throughout the week. And you can find the Zoom meeting links on our website. Or you can, take a picture of the meeting ID and passcode there on the screen. All right, so just to get right into the content of today. So as you all, and as I mentioned already, today is all about effective leadership for student organizations. And I found this quote when putting together this presentation that I thought was just good to keep in mind. So the most powerful leadership tool you have is your own personal example. So sometimes all it takes to be a good leader is just setting a good example for your members, for other officers, for other students to kind of see and want to be like. So tip number 1 is to lead with a purpose. So as you all, and I'm sure this goes without saying, that being a leader is so much more than having something to list on a resume. It's always going to be more than just having a position or having a title within an organization. It's wanting to make a difference. It's wanting to make a change. It's wanting to grow as a person and helping other people grow as well. So when you're looking to potentially take up a leadership position, it's so important to keep in mind and wanting to know for yourself, why are you choosing to run this organization? What are you looking to accomplish? What are you hoping to get out of it personally as well? Good leaders will show commitment and enthusiasm about their work. And it goes without saying that if you aren't filled with passion about what you do, and you aren't excited and you aren't bringing all this energy to what you do, how can you expect your members to do the same? So when you're planning things, when you are putting things together, when you're hosting things, always make sure that you're doing it with the enthusiasm that you genuinely care. When you see someone who's passionate about the things they do, it rubs off. And if someone was having like a really bad day, but they see you having such a good time, genuinely enjoying yourself, it's going to kind of rub off on them and they'll feel the same way. And just to kind of wrap this tip up, do everything with a bigger goal in mind. Even if it's something as small as hosting like a Zoom meeting to catch up, maybe you're thinking in mind that overall it's going to help build support among your members or establish that trust between one another. So always do things with always wanting to have some kind of benefit for your members to get out of it. And lead by example, kind of like the sticky note at the very beginning of the presentation. You can expect your members to be motivated or participate if you and other officers aren't the example to model. So you want to make sure that if you are putting events together, that just because you are the one putting it together, you aren't also attending. They can't, and you can't ask them to maybe attend meetings every so often, do community service if you yourself aren't going. So if you show that you can balance your school, maybe work, family, and still be an active member, you show it's possible. Obviously for some people it's still not possible, just because of how crazy life can be. But if you are able to show that you can balance it out, you're serving as a good example for others to want to be like you. And it goes without saying as well that, with your other officers, you want to make sure that they also are happy, positive, and enthusiastic about the work they're doing for your student organization. You also want to encourage them to make sure that they're taking up this position because they genuinely have an interest, they want to serve, and not just because they're looking to fill up some spot on their resume, or they're trying to kind of just further themselves along. You want to make sure that while yes, leadership positions do look good on the resume, they're also genuinely interested in serving your student org. All right, so tip number 3 is to keep it real and authentic. You want to make sure that you are yourself in all of your glory. You want to stay true to your core values and personality while also keeping your organization's mission and purpose too. So, not trying to be someone that you're not. People can see right through when you're not truly acting like yourself. Um, just putting yourself on this higher position because you have this officer title. So, just be yourself. You were put into a position for a reason. They probably voted you there. And they know who you are at your core. They know the type of person that you are. So you don't want to be changing things up, trying to be someone that you're not, because it just doesn't come off as, genuine. And it's not something that, if they see you're trying too hard to be someone that you're not, it's not what they may want to contribute or be a part of because of that. Um, and you may see that who you are as a person obviously is going to line up with your organization's mission and purpose. So you want to just make sure that they're always lined up with one another, and that, like your organization is wanting to better your members, you yourself are also wanting to help your members better themselves. All right. Tip number 4, be able and willing to delegate. This is a really big one, and it's something I myself struggle with at times, because delegating can be hard if you're not used to doing things in other people's perspective, or you like having control and doing things exactly how that you yourself can produce it. But with other officers, with an advisor, with other student org members, there's no reason to overwork yourself because you have other people to lean on and work with. And each officer was, again, like you were, probably elected or selected to be in their position for a reason, meaning that each of them has their own skill set, own opinions, own thoughts that can all go to help and serve your student organization. You want to be able to recognize the value of having a team because of their different minds, views, and opinions. And you want to be able to share those tasks among one another so that everyone is able to develop themselves as a leader. If you yourself are taking upon all the responsibility, you're not allowing someone else to feel those challenges to accomplish something, or to learn something new that they would have had they just been shared um, the responsibility with. And with delegating too, it takes a lot of stress off of you, as you might imagine. It's hard to be one person managing and running a student organization, because running a student organization, it's hard. While it is very rewarding, it is a challenge and it can be hard sometimes. um, so being willing and open to delegating isn't just about sharing responsibility. It's giving everyone that equal opportunity to work and contribute towards creating an impact within your student organization. All right, this is another big one. Tip 5 is learn from mistakes and move forward. Mistakes are inevitable because, as much as we may try to be perfect, and it often feels like we have to be, mistakes just happen. Being that student leaders are exactly that, leaders, you might feel like you can't make a mistake because you're the leader and there's so many people counting on you. Um, but you're still human, you're still a college student, um, and there's so much room for growth in when you make mistakes. Obviously you don't want to make mistakes a routine habit. You want to make sure that if a mistake happens, learn from what happened, what went wrong, what could have been done better, and then go forward. And then I think another big thing that goes with making mistakes is not to dwell on them, because you can't move forward if you're still in the past. So maybe you messed up probably a little bigger mistake than what you should have made. Well, we hope that that doesn't happen for you. Just be able to recognize it, acknowledge it, um, and share with others. Like, this is what I did. This is where I went wrong. Because it's in sharing those mistakes that you help others not repeat them. And being able to learn from your mistakes and moving forward is what makes good leaders. And if something does go wrong, please, 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 reach out, ask for help, um, talk with other officers. But the biggest thing is just always make sure, you're learning from mistakes. All right. The next one is always be open to learning new skills and information. So, by joining these sessions, I hope you all are learning new skills, learning new information. So, joining these sessions is already a great start to getting and acquiring new skills and information. Um, it also takes time when you're wanting to learn something new. Sometimes it's just as easy as doing a Google search, to look up ways that you can motivate members and keep them engaged, creating new activities that are worth participating in, and looking up the ways that you can serve and help your community even from your homes. So it's all about, just having the initiative to wanting to learn and to wanting to find those new things that are going to keep your members happy and willing to participate. Um, so, with that, you can also attend our leadership programs to learn more about yourself and how, given your leadership styles, your leadership preferences, how you can best lead your RSOs. And all of our programs, regardless of who's facilitating, are meant to teach you all not only how to be good leaders on campus, but off campus too. Um, so, most of our programs, obviously within the student organization side, the leadership, inclusion, and advocacy, um, we try to provide you all with connecting you all with different resources, providing you all new information, bringing in people that can speak to you all, that help you all learn more about yourselves and more about what you all can do to better your student organizations. And outside of your organization, take the time to learn about people and, most importantly, your members. So learning new information doesn't always have to be, strictly org related. It can also be just learning about the people that you have in your student organization, taking that time to learn about their likes, their dislikes, because it's in learning and getting their feedback that you're able to tailor what you do to them and make it an experience that they're happy to be a part of, and again, more than willing to participate in. All right, tip 7, stay organized. You want to make sure that you are planning, 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 planning. It doesn't hurt to plan ahead when possible. I know it's kind of hard right now given the circumstances. Things are constantly changing, things are constantly needing to be updated. Um, but it is so important right now, given that everything is always changing, to keep things written down, keep sharing things among officers. Um, and just making sure that it's so crazy right now trying to manage, if you're in a student organization, maybe you're in another student org, you're managing work, school, other things. So it's important, keep a planner where you can, write sticky notes down of things you need to do, keeping a to-do list up to date, anything that works for you, in order to keep everything you need to do in one place and organized, so you don't get too jumbled up. um, with keeping things shared among officers, it's easy to keep things open, transparent, and easily accessible between everyone, because if anything were to happen, maybe this one officer can attend the program they have planned, another one can easily get in, see all of their plans, and jump in, so that nothing needs to be canceled. So some websites or things you all can utilize are SharePoint. That's you can create little folders for each officer, keep everything in one place. If you have presentations, you can create a team on Canva, and everyone on the team has access to view those presentations. So again, let's say I'm running a meeting, but my Wi-Fi cuts out. Someone can easily access the Canva and put it on, and there's no, lag in starting the meeting or anything like that. You can also create a OneDrive, excuse me, and on the OneDrive, again, similar like SharePoint, you can create folders for each officer, maybe do it by month, so everything that's coming up will pop up there. Give me 1 second. And staying organized now helps future officers later. So, if you are utilizing things like SharePoint, OneDrive, maybe Google Drive, that's something that can be easily transferred from officer board to officer board. And it helps give officers, some direction when they're planning things because they're able to look from the past to be able to plan moving forward. All right, we are nearing the end. There are 10 tips. We are on tip 8. Always consider your members, be mindful. So when you're setting up times for, events that you're expecting your members to attend, think about the time that you're asking for. Because I think we've all come to learn that just because we're doing everything from home remotely, it doesn't mean we have more time than what we would have had we been in person. And I think that's something that a lot of people at the beginning had to accept and understand that just because we are from home, that doesn't mean that there's so much more time for us to be able to do things. And with that, you want to try to start as close to your presented time as possible. So if you're saying your event or your meeting is going to start at 6, do your absolute best to get started, if even earlier, just to make sure that you're being mindful of people's times. Because if they're having so many meetings in a week and you ask them for 6 to 7 and they have a busy schedule, maybe they only have time allotted for that meeting from 6 to 7. So it's just being mindful of their time and their schedules. Um, with that, you also want to plan things they want and would be happy to participate in. So that could be getting feedback from sending surveys to see what kind of speakers they might want to hear from, or the kind of topics they want to be talking about, or the community service that they're wanting to engage in. Or, even planning the kind of social they want. Maybe do you want to have a game night? Do you want to have a movie night? Um, Showing and including your members in decisions makes them feel included, makes them feel wanted, feel seen, and just overall, those are all good things everyone wants to feel. And lastly, just always being willing to be open to their suggestion or feedback. Because again, if you do something one way, you might hear from them later like, hey, I think this might have worked out, yada, yada, yada. So, their feedback is crucial because, like you have more than one officer to bounce ideas off of, you have a whole organization of members with more values, more minds, more opinions that can contribute towards making the organization better. All right, tip 9, remain positive and optimistic. This whole time of doing everything remotely is nothing but uncharted waters. And it's been hard. A lot of it has been a lot of learning, a lot of accepting that things aren't the same. But, I hope you all feel proud of yourselves for making it through nearly a year of this uncertainty. Um, and, this time has been a time of developing skills like being able to adapt, having flexibility, and a lot of courage. And hopefully, this virtual work is nearing the end. So, don't lose hope, keep going, keep planning things. Uh, Yourself and other leaders remaining positive helps keep your members feeling hopeful too. And, stay looking out for all the better things that are to come, being that, soon enough, UTEP will be opening up for more in person things, hopefully, switching more back onto on campus, operations. Um, so, there's a lot more to look forward to than there is to, kind of dwell on the past. So I hope you all are staying positive, optimistic, and hopeful about the work you're doing now and how far you've grown since we started this remote work and how much more there is to go when we finally do get to go back in person. All right. And the last tip is believe in yourself and your abilities. I pulled this quote probably from one of the websites I found when doing the research for this presentation. A leader who is self-assured without being bombastic or overbearing instills self-confidence in team members. Because being confident in yourself and staying calm will rub off on officers and members. Being a leader at a time like this is nothing but commendable. And you all were voted into your positions for a reason, or appointed, selected, whatever the case might have been, for a reason. And all the work you do does not go unnoticed. Please know that the student organization support team recognizes all that you all do. We're very proud of you, and we know it hasn't been easy. It's hard being, let alone a student in a time like this, that school is all virtual, which is something completely new for all of us. But also being willing to run a student organization virtually, that's, yeah, hats off to all of you, because I know it's been challenging myself. Um, so yeah, that kind of wraps up the tips for today. I hope this helps you all, kind of just take it as like a motivation boost, just feeling more self-assured in yourselves and your abilities. And hopefully, you can take something from this and share with your officers in terms of what you all can do going forward. So the SOS team is always here for any problems or support. Like I mentioned at the beginning, we have office hours, we have our email address. You all can always reach out to us. You all can check out our Minors on Monitors website to look for more virtual events. So, if you have free time throughout the week, we have so many programs going on that you can, de-stress with, relax, and have fun. So we have some more upcoming SOAP sessions. Let's see, today is the 24th. So tomorrow from 1 to 2, we have the next Dave Kelly workshop. He's an amazing man. I went to his last session and it was really, very engaging, very high energy. And tomorrow he'll be going over secrets of motivation and delegating authority. So kind of lines up with some of the things I touched on today. But he's been doing this for years, so I'm sure he has so much more that he can share with you all. And on March 30th, we have a leadership workshop with the leadership interns. So kind of like how I touched on, taking the time to see the kind of leader you are, how you can best lead. We're going to be elaborating that a little bit further. It's going to be an hour-long session. We have an activity planned, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope you all can join us for tomorrow's Dave Kelly workshop and the next SOAP session. And, I oversee SOAP and Joanna oversees MindTracker 101. So these are sessions that provide tips and tools on how you all can best utilize MindTracker. Our next one is going to be April 7th, which is going to be managing service hours. And with that, all of her sessions are also recorded and posted onto YouTube. So if you all ever need to go back, get a quick tutorial on how to use a tool, they're all on there for you all. I will be sending this assessment shortly for you all. It's just utilized so that I can get feedback so that we can tailor future SOAP programs to the things you all want to be learning about, or kind of resources we should be sharing with you all. And, we promote all of our programs and upcoming dates on our social media. So you can find us at UTEP SELC on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And if you are wanting to visit our YouTube channel, you can look up UTEP Student Engagement and Leadership Center. I will be sharing that link now for the survey. It takes, maybe tops for sure less than 5 minutes to fill out. So if you all would just take the time to do it for me, I'd be very thankful for it. It helps, like I said, kind of create future SOAP programs and, just gives us an idea on how we can better the SOAP for you all. All right. So I just want to say again, thank you so much for joining. I hope this helps you all when going forward. And like I said, today's session is going to be, it's recorded right now and it will be posted later today. So I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Please stay after if you have any questions. But if not, we'll see you at the next one.